Pitchforks! Get the pitchforks! Burn the heretic! More on that later, guys. More on that later. Right, first of all, I want to say a big congratulations to my boy Afraidn0t and his girlfriend slash wife slash Mrs. Mrs. Not. Mrs. Afraidn0t. Mrs. Okay. Anyway, congratulations, guys, on the birth of your first baby boy. And trust me, you're going to have years and years of happiness, and hijinks will ensue. Now, I do understand that there was some complications, so I'm glad to hear that little man and Mrs. Not are now doing very well indeed. So that's great news. Yeah, lifetime of happiness, guys. Lifetime of happiness. Alright, now, let's move on. Now, I don't normally do news, as you guys know, but I did over the weekend see a little sneak peek of the next DLC, and this particular sneak peek showed that iconic clicking sound that Yautjas slash Predators do, well, Yautjas do, and it happened to be on Call of Duty Ghosts, so that means, you know, that there's a possibility that we'll all be in the game, and yeah, that's great news. You know, let's just say it's nice when these things come together, isn't it? You know, it really is. Yeah, so anyway, sorry guys. Yeah, so I basically somehow managed to become public enemy number 1. Well, amongst 2 very ignorant people. Now, and the reason for this was because I said something on Facebook. I put up a status. It's not funny. I shouldn't really laugh, but the stupidity of it's funny. Now, what I said was... Let me give you a bit of background first, actually. Now, on Thursday morning, there was a report both on Sky News and on BBC News 24 about domestic abuse and domestic abuse figures and arrest rates and yeah, all that kind of thing. Now, what I particularly found was a disgrace was both programs showed background video. It was blurred video, obviously obviously they're actors, but you know they don't want people thinking this particular actors really go around, you know, kicking 7 shades out of women. But basically, they just both showed just women being hurt and abused and what have you. Now, do not take this to mean that, you know, I don't think women get beaten up, or that I think, you know, women being beaten up is okay, because I don't. You know, I'm not on that shit. Now, what I do think is not okay is not publicising it enough that it happens to men as well. Not happened to me personally. Well, it has a little bit, not to like any great psychologically damaging extent, but that's another story which I'll get into another time. But yeah, now the reason I say this is because, you know, now I understand that emotions were running high, don't get me wrong, but the reason I say it is because there are guys out there who it has happened to. You know, I know at least one. I'm not going to mention names because that's not fair, but I know at least one. You know, let's put it that way. And you know, he's a big guy. I'm a big guy, but if a big guy says, "Oh, my girlfriend beat me up," he gets laughed at. Or how could she beating you up and all this stuff? You know. But what do they? You know, but you know, as a gentleman, you hold back. You can't go beating up women. That's not cool. You know, you've got to just... Oh, Joe, I am passionate about this, and it's really frustrating me, but you have to, like, you have to show restraint. Because, you know, even if... Because now, the reason I get wound up about it is, especially because not publicising it against men, it encourages things like this, for example. Now, say a woman attacks a man, and just say, for argument's sake, this particular woman is a very manipulative, you know, so-and-so. I'm not saying all women are just this. No, this is just an example that I'm giving you to address my point. Right, so she tries to attack the guy. The guy holds her. He, you know, restrains her, tries to stop her, you know, hurting him or herself or whatever. So she ends up with marks on her arm, because he has to fight quite hard to stop her. And what she then does is goes and tells the relevant people that he is abusing her. Now, I don't think that's right. I don't, you know, that is sick to me, because that makes a mockery of the poor women and poor guys that are genuinely being abused. You know, because it's sick. It really is. You know, and women like that, and men like that especially as well. Not especially, but men like that. Men and women like that. It's disgusting. I don't know what would have to go through your head to want to do that. Now, why did I become public enemy number one? Because there were two people that, despite the fact that I explained what I meant, you know, I apologised if they took any offence. I wasn't sorry for what I said because I didn't anything wrong, but I'm sorry if they took offence, and maybe I'm sorry that I didn't explain it in the way on my original status that I thought it should have been. But they were so determined to take this the wrong way that they just wanted to use it as an excuse to kick off. And that was my take on it. They wanted to use it, which I think is sick, because, you know, it's not a nice thing. But to use that just because you fancy an argument, no, I'm sorry, that's disgusting. And that's just something that really got to me and wound me up, because it shows a lack of character and it shows a lack of integrity, because they knew they were wrong. They knew, you know, after it was explained to them, they knew exactly what I meant, and yet they were still so determined to take offence to it. I mean, they deleted me off of Facebook now. I mean, I don't really care. It's no great loss to me. I really couldn't give a shit. You know, you know, I'm not the type of person to beg for friends or, you know, beg for anything. You know, I really don't care. I'm not that worried at all. But that's just something that really wound me up, really pissed me off. Now, it takes a lot to piss me off. It takes a lot to get me mad. Even this game doesn't get me that mad, really. But still, you know, I was misunderstood, so I basically became public enemy number one, although a lot of people did agree with what I said. And notably, a lot of them were women, so I guess that tells you what you need to know there. Alright, now the other thing was, you can see I'm using a chainsaw, and I always have fun with the chainsaw. This isn't the greatest gameplay in terms of score or kill streaks or anything like that, but I always have fun with the chainsaw, so I always like to try and bring you, you know, complete chainsaw gameplays, because it's good fun. You know, it's such a unique gun. It's brilliant. You know, it's nice to see something different. As I said with my very first commentary, it's nice to see them trying something different with the chainsaw. You know, it was great. It's absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. So yeah, so sorry about the rant, guys. I had to get a few things off my chest. I know you guys are always there for me. You know, you're absolutely brilliant. Oh, I also meant to give you a quick apology for not uploading a gameplay on Friday, but let's just say I was ill and there was a lot of funny smells going about, and leave it at that, because obviously I want you to keep your lunch or dinner or whatever time you're watching this, and it might go on this evening. So yeah. Anyway, if you like that, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And if you didn't like it, you know, let me know why you disliked it. Of course, I'll try and do better, but you know, don't dislike it just because you didn't like the gun I was using or something silly like that. Alright, guys, Yautja's out. Peace. Take care. See you on the next one.